it looks like it's going to be just beautiful, maybe even slightly warm, some might say.
This has been your E2C Network Weather Report.
How that became this, I never will know. We are talking about my absolute favorite time of the year.
Oh, wow.
Not football season. Well, I that's probably a little hyperbole. I love football season. I love March Madness. Those are probably my two biggies. But when I talk about what it means to be an Auburn man, an Auburn person, it can't get better when the weather works out, but also when you do it the right way. Having not just a day, the A-Day football game, the A-Day game, but A-Day weekend. And that is what we're going to talk about, is what's all going to happen and what you can get involved with. And of course, we're going to talk about the A-Day game as well. Now, Austin won't be there. I'm going to call him out on the show.
I will not.
But he does love this weekend, I know, because he echoes those same sentiments around what.
And lots of visitors come to pay taxes and sales tax in the Auburn
That's
area.
what it is about for you. Let's not even just mince words here. That's what it's about for you. Pay my taxes and help us out. And not that Auburn's hurting in any way, because it's a beautiful little place and everybody wants to move there.
Everybody.
Trust me on that one. 8-day weekend. Obviously, this is a very family-oriented, almost, would you say, homecoming-esque type of feel to this when you treat it the right way?
Yeah, I would say that. I think it's gotten that kind of marketing and promotion around it in years past. And like you said, I hate that it's such a big factor, but I think the weather always plays a pretty strong role in it. But when it's always made sure that there are multiple things to do, multiple avenues and areas of campus that are targeted to go check out, whether it be sporting events or autograph signings or whatnot. So it's always a good weekend. Always gets a big pull. I haven't even checked the weather for this weekend. Are we good? We're looking good. Okay.
Right now,
we're feeling good.
How about this? The fact that the rain chances are low is just an improvement in and of itself.
Amen.
Because if you remember last weekend, not only was it frustrating just because you're there mainly for a football game. Yeah. That's what the anchor is for this weekend. But there was also Frank Thomas's statue unveiling, which was still great, even despite all the rain. And it held off just long. Well, not even, it was still sprinkling, but for us to have a somewhat reasonable time to go out there and have the unveiling. But
this is looking good.
What are you looking at? You looking at the weather right now? Give us a full report. We're breaking in for meteorologist Austin Scott with
weather report on E2C Network, the Auburn Experience. We're going to go Friday through Sunday. We're talking about the whole weekend.
Let's do it.
Friday, April 5th, you got a partly cloudy with 0% chance of rain, high of 70 degrees and 43 low. That's
love it.
A beautiful day. Saturday for the 8-day game, a football game, you got a partly cloudy skies with a high of 73 and low of 46, 0% precipitation. Sunday, when you go to check out the series finale for Auburn baseball and softball, it's partly cloudy. Temperatures bump up just a little bit. It's high of 75 and a low of 53 with a 0% chance. And that's your weather forecast for Auburn, Alabama on 8-day weekend.
Thank you for that. That was well done.
I think I got a future.
You might have a future in that. I got to find a new co-host now, apparently. We are going to be looking at your new meteorologist for the Auburn area, Mr. Austin Scott, coming to us from E2C Network radio station. Okay. Anyway, we ran that bit a little bit longer than we probably.
The rails.
We ran that bit longer than we should have there. Let's get back to the topic at hand. What I want to do is give you guys a scope of the full weekend, what you can get involved with, and please keep in mind, this is not the full range of what you can. This is just what Auburn University has put out in terms of their sporting events, which is why we're coming. And we're all coming mainly for that 8-day football game.
Sure.
But let's give you the full scope here. Let's start with Friday. Softball versus Louisiana Tech. You have men's tennis versus Alabama. Volleyball just got added versus Alabama. That's going to be a spring match of sorts. They're not in season, but it's a spring match. Softball with Georgia Tech as well. And then the nightcap or afternoon cap, because it's 6 p.m., however you want to describe that. Baseball with Tennessee. So there's a lot to like there. I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I'm excited to come to Auburn's campus for spring, Austin, for baseball and softball, I'm going to try really hard to be at this volleyball match because rare is the day that we get to even take in / enjoy volleyball outside of the fall. So that's what I look at on a Friday for personally, to be honest with you. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I like it. And I like that they're doing that. I don't think that it was a coincidence that we're getting this for 8-day weekend. I think that they're taking advantage of the groups of people there. And so that's exciting. I think that looks really good. Correct me if I'm wrong. This softball weekend is not a tournament, but a invitational of sorts.
Do you call them tournaments? I never can make up my mind about this. An invitational of sorts, I think, is you invite. I like to call them showcases.
Okay, I like that.
I think it is a tournament style, but it's weird.
You're just playing a lot of games in a little amount of time, and so which is great for a weekend like this. You get a full day on Friday to get to see Auburn softball in action twice.
Yep.
And still get to make the Auburn baseball game. So I love that they pack it in on Friday, encourages people to come in on Friday and really spend your whole weekend, not just the Saturday.
Yep. And you get a chance to see us hopefully Rec Tech.
Rec Tech.
That's
right. We're going to get that parade back. In my perfect conferences, they're still here.
I forgot we talked about that recently. So there's at least some way to live that rivalry out, at least through softball. Saturday, the big day, obviously, but not just because of the spring game. Let me give you what you got also in store here.
Hit us.
Tiger Trail induction ceremony. And we didn't talk about a potpourri because I didn't want to, we had other things that we wanted to discuss there too. But this is something that I definitely am at least going to try to go get shots of the new plaques and stuff if they're out on time. But I know it's a charge to go to the ceremony. I think it's like $25 and you get breakfast. And so if you have something you're not doing on Saturday morning, you want to get up, come on. You can find there on their website, the Tiger Trail induction ceremony.
Do we know who are the new members of the Tiger Trail?
There are 4 of them. I know Casey Cooper for softball is one of them. Rightfully so. I know she's getting in there quick. I should know the football one off the top of my head because I saw it and I was like, oh, is it Takeo Spikes? I was like, how does he not have one already?
No way.
Maybe I have that wrong, but I think it was Takeo Spikes.
Doing some research.
And I think there's a swimming one in there as well, but I know there were 4 if I remember correctly. And I have it.
Takeo Spikes.
I was like, how does Takeo not have one yet?
Cliff Ellis.
Thank you. How did I forget that one? And let me guess. No, Richard Quick already has one.
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics? Gymnastics. I don't know. That's an inside joke with me and my wife. She's watching. It's a little girl. She couldn't say gymnastics, so she called it gymnastics. Anyway,
Caitlin Atkinson from Auburn Gymnastics, the 2016 SEC Gymnast of the Year. So
there you go.
That's really cool. I wonder where do new ones get added? Are we?
I heard it's by random draw where they and it's on what quadrant, because there's like a quadrant effect to it if you really look at it on a map. That they go and I guess they would just add them where the next open space is down the line.
How about that? I didn't know there was such a scientific process behind this.
That's the way I understand it to be.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's something maybe to go check out, if not the ceremony, but their plaques if it's out and ready for people to see this weekend. If you're part of On to Victory, an autograph session at 10 a.m., alumni football game in Jordan-Hare, 11:05. A-Day starts at 1 p.m. Central Time. Presented by Golden Flake, not this podcast. Maybe one day. But
Golden Flake, the proud sponsor of Auburn football
and E2C Network.
We wish.
We love that. Sponsor us, Golden Flake. Softball twice that day versus losing a Tech and Georgia Tech again. You get a double crack at them.
Man.
And then, of course, baseball versus Tennessee. Let's park it here at night.
Nice. We like that.
Actually, I know I lied to you. Tennessee is 3:30. I had that backwards there.
So right after the game.
Ish. Yeah. It depends on how fast the game goes this time. Since there's not going to be rain, it probably won't be less than an hour like it was last time.
True.
Hopefully it's more entertaining. Quick thoughts about the 8-day game. Obviously, that's what most people are coming into town for. I've said it 1,000 times. I'm just thankful we're actually going to get to watch hopefully a full 8-day happen this year, because
like a real football game,
as much as a spring game can be. What are you most looking forward to, at least coming out of that spring game?
I think we're all going to be, I don't want to overhype him. I'm afraid everybody already has. I think we're all going to come away amazed at Cam Coleman. I think this is going to be his kind of first time to shine. We're all going to overanalyze the quarterbacks, I'm sure. But I mean, I think this is it, like you said, it's a good chance for. We've got 2 new coordinators. We've got a plethora of new faces that will be on display and have a chance to make impressions. So I'm interested to see schemes, see what differences in offense Derek Nix brings, what differences in defense DJ Durkin brings, and how we see that play out in A-Day. We never see as much as we want to see because it's a spring game and it's a practice that we are all invited to or pay to attend.
That's increasing more and more these days.
Yes, it is. And so I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see Cam Coleman. Truthfully, I want to see him in as much action as we're going to get. So I think he has a chance to really be special on Saturday.
Yeah, and so for those of you that are wanting to know information about tickets and stuff, they're encouraging you all to buy them online. Just know that if you buy them on the day of, I think there's a little upcharge on that. So they're really trying to get people to buy them in advance. And as always, it's just, at least that I've seen, it's just you first come, first serve. Go get your seats. I have a suspicion, even with great weather, you're not going to be fighting to find the seat that you love. No. But with time, we may get back to those wonderful times we saw post-championship of the lower bowl being filled up. You never know. There might be a bit of a step up. Never know. But that's how it's going to work. And obviously what we will all be really excited for that day. Now, don't forget, look, I know everybody rushes out of town on Saturday, and I get it. Most people can only give up one day. But if you can get a full Auburn experience, this weekend is the weekend to do it. You have Sunday, men's tennis versus Mississippi State. Baseball, 1 p.m. Central Time versus Tennessee, and then men's tennis again that afternoon versus Alabama A&M. Now, I'm going to make a pitch for people for tennis, and I know they're like, Kyle, look, I love to keep up with them, but I just don't know that I can commit a day to tennis. If you've never been out to the Yarborough Center, you're missing out. It's not like one of these golf atmospheres where you think you can't get excited and stuff like that. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Mississippi State is obviously an SEC opponent. If you can go to that one right around lunchtime, Alabama A&M, I would suspect we could beat them. I'd hope. So there's 2 opportunities for you to see men's tennis. And of course, hopefully an all important final game versus Tennessee. You never know, right? We could be hoping for a series win. Maybe, hopefully.
I hope so.
We need it.
We need it.
We definitely need it. Not because like we're doubting this team and program, all this stuff, but just because of numbers, logistics.
We need it.
4 things in the season. We're going to need it.
We need it.
I think we've made the point. Need that game. But that's your full schedule. That's what you can look forward to. And keep in mind, there are things that are not in this list that we're reading from the athletic department that I'm sure going to be available. My hope and my plead is for this to become more and more like a mini game day atmosphere. I would love to see actual tailgating take place because then the focus can be on the tailgating as opposed to the game. And everybody can be more leisurely about these things. It would make me so happy one day to look out in that field and see those RVs parked out there.
Is there a Tiger Walk?
There has been. I have not seen an announcement as of us recording this on a Sunday night of it yet. And so I don't know.
But like it would be down
Donahue and Norman. That's where they've done in the past, and that is where I will be recording it for you all if it does happen. So if you'd like to combine,
I thought I remembered that being like a thing, but I think we've just had too many years of bad weather that I'm forgetting what a like nice A-Day is like.
I know. So this is going to be it, folks. This is if you want a good weather weekend for A-Day, this is it. So you better show up and enjoy it while you can, because we've had few and far between. It's either been windy, it's either been cold, it's either been rainy. It looks like it's going to be just beautiful, maybe even slightly warm, some might say.
This has been your E2C Network weather report.
How that became this, I never will know.